Hi, everyone. It is Marilyn Allure, and welcome to Who Can It Be Now? I have a special episode for you today, and I wanted to do a little intro for you. This is not a genius call. This is a Facebook Live rant that I did about vodka, lavender, quizzes, and horoscopes, and how they disempower you. Not the vodka part. Actually, the vodka part can empower you, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. And you'll hear about it in the Facebook Live. But I wanted to give you an intro to explain to you, because you may hear certain things like, write meditation in the comments. We're going to get you the meditation. I'm going to tell you how you can get that. I have a really cool meditation for you. And you're just going to hear me communicating with a couple of people on the Facebook Live. So I wanted you to be aware of that. But it's a really, really good Facebook Live. And I'll tell you why in a sec. And it was so good that I was like, I want this to be a podcast, because this is something I've been wanting to do as a podcast for quite some time. And I don't usually work at night, but last night after my walk, I came home and I was really, really stimulated in a good way to do a podcast about this topic that I've been wanting to talk about, which is quizzes, anagrams, human design, horoscopes, and how they can disempower you. Now, before you hit click, I'm done. I'm not talking to this chick anymore. Hear what I got to say. I don't have a problem with those things if you use them as navigational tools. I have a problem with them when people say to me, "Oh, I can't do that because my human design is that I'm flighty manifester. And because of that, I have to wait till someone invites me to do something." And I'm not, I know that's flighty manifester isn't a part of the human design, but I have heard that excuse from people. I've heard that excuse from people who are like my peers. "Oh, yeah, I could see why I can't get opportunities because I'm the type of person that has to be invited." And when I ask people, no, no, the problem is your friggin' mindset. Get your head out of your ass. It has nothing to do with the fact that maybe some friggin' quiz that you took that none of us are the same. None of us. We're all unique. We all have our own genius. We all have our own life experiences. None of us, if the whole world sat in one room together, some of us may look alike. Some of us may have similar mannerisms, but not one of us will have the same life experiences. We won't have the same boyfriends, the same parents, the same siblings, even if we're in the same family. We won't have those same things. My brother doesn't have the same boyfriends I have. My brother didn't read the same exact books I had. My brother didn't, even if I had a sister, she didn't have the same boyfriend. She didn't have the same classes at the same time. You're all different. So why do you think a massive quiz for the world can tell you who you are, and then you disempower yourself with the answers? So I go off on a little bit of a rampage, but I definitely give some really great tips and techniques and tools. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I tell this story in there, but I've gotten really tired of people saying, "Oh, I can't do this because I'm a number 5 on the anagrams. And because of that, it says that I have to sleep for the next 5 years before I do anything. So I'm going to wait." No, no. I don't care if you tell me, "Hey, I really need to rest for the next 5 years and I'm doing some really major healing." Although I would tell you not to do that. You do healing as you do living. But don't tell me that the quiz that gave you a number that labeled you is the reason why you can't do something you want to do. Stop it already. Don't tell me Mercury's in retrograde, so you have to freeze, put yourself in a block of ice and not move. It's not true. It is not true. It doesn't mean that it can't be a navigational tool. If you truly, truly, like, I don't believe in Mercury retrograde at all. I don't talk to me about it. I don't want anything to do with it. Right. But if you truly believe that Mercury retrograde does affect things in your life, I'm not arguing that. That is a belief system that you believe. But be careful what you do with that information. All of a sudden, you're afraid, you're scared, you're tentative, you're not doing things. Instead, be like, "Okay, cool. I'm going to put in my calendar that during this particular period, I'm not going to sign any major contracts. I'm not going to sign any major leases. That's okay. I'll schedule around it." But it doesn't mean I stop living and I'm like waiting for the next shoe to drop, biting my nails. And you may not be like that, but I see a lot of people like that. A lot. And I'll tell you something else. I respect this. There's people that live by it. And I don't really have, well, I'm not going to say I don't have a problem with it because I'd be lying. I do have a problem with it. I have a good friend of mine who's a very famous, very, very like established psychic. And I love her so much. Absolutely adore her. And she knows how I feel about astrology, and she loves astrology. She teaches it and everything. And she'll say to me sometimes in an email, I know you're not into astrology, but I just want to let you know. And I don't mind that. She cares about me. It's something she believes in. She's not shoving it down my throat. She's just sharing something with me. And I'll glance through it and be like, okay, but I won't do it. I'm a big believer in free will, always have been. Big believer. Even when I was Catholic growing up, and they were like, it's fate. And the way that God was positioned at that point was like a human being, right? A powerful human being. It wasn't like this infinite intelligence that's constantly evolving that we can't even wrap our consciousness around. So it's like God knows what you're going to do before you knew it. Your fate is already planned. I'm like, wow, that sucks. So I really have no choice here. Why the fuck am I living? Like basically, those are my thoughts at 8 years old. And I realized I was like, no, I believe in free will. And I started believing free will when we're going to talk about space clearing. You're going to learn about space clearing in this episode once I stop talking in the intro, the very long intro. But and space clearing is really good, and I have a really cool meditation for you. But what I want to say is when I started opening up to my gifts, and it was really scary, scary, scary. And then you have all these people around, you got to protect yourself. You got to do this, you got to do that. And I was like, F that, man. I believe in free will. Now, I already talk about like what I had to do because I was so scared. And that's episode 2 where I was dropping eggs off all over LA. But really what was happening is I was choosing my free will and saying, no, you don't get to come in here and disrupt my life. Sorry, done. And yes, I do certain types of techniques and tools. And I'm teaching space clearing and next level living right now. And I do certain types of things like that where I do set a parameter of protection around me. I hate using the word protection because I'm always protected. And if you own that, then you own it. But there are times when lower level energy does try to seep in. And I do know what to do. I'm usually always the parameters there. But if there's like a tear in it because you're going through something emotional, it's just you're the instrument. I'm not out there like, yeah, I may use sage, I may use vodka and lavender. There's a secret. I may use certain things like that, but I'm using me. Those things are just an extension of me. Tarot, when I was studying tarot, when I was working with a pendulum, it was all for me to learn how to use my own gift, my own instrument. So the reason why these quizzes drive me absolutely insane, and I didn't realize it until just recently, and I share that story in this podcast, is because I believe you're the instrument. Those are just tools for you to learn how you're seeing, hearing, feeling, sensing, and knowing. So I use your I use your 5 physical senses as an extension of your psychic senses. So I don't separate the two. You seeing with your eyes, you're actually using clairvoyancy if you know how to tap into it. Those repetitive symbols you're seeing, you can't take your eyes off the tree for some reason. You think you see something out of the corner of your eyes and then you turn around, it's not there. That's clairvoyancy using your physical senses of your vision, your instrument. I'm going to do a sidebar for a second. I have been seeing into other dimensions like crazy lately. Crazy. Now, I always knew that I could see other dimensions and I had experiences. Now it's on a constant basis. Constant basis. What does that look like? I will see things in the physical world that are not there at all. And I'll be like, what? Why is that door there? And it'll literally look like a door. It's not a third eye projection. It's not in my imagination. And I'll be like, what the F is that doing there? Why? And then I'll stare a little more and then my brain takes over and I'll be like, no, that's not a door. And I thought there was something wrong going on with I'm like, what's going on with my vision? It was happening so much. And then I realized, oh, I'm starting to see all the dimensions now. So the meditation you're going to get in next week's episode, but you have to listen to this week's episode, is going to show you how to clear energetic space. Because there's so much energetic space happening that we're standing in and stuff that you need to know how to clear it. But that's going to be next week. So you'll listen to that. Okay. So I went on a sidebar. So your physical senses, everybody's gifted. Your physical senses attached to your psychic senses. And everybody can use it. When you learn how to use it, you're living a powerful life from the inside out. You're not dependent on if your horoscope said you're going to have a shitty day, or your boyfriend's going to break up with you, or you're going to spill coffee on your lap, or you're going to have the best sex of your life. Look, if my horoscope said that, well, right now it would suck because, well, as I'm recording this on April 21st, 2023, actually it wouldn't suck. I'd be like, okay, great. I'm going to have great sex on April 21st, 2023. And then for the rest of my life. Anyway, I digress. I stopped reading horoscopes years and years and years ago because I recognized if I read a bad horoscope in the morning, how many people started their day out in the morning with a horoscope and it said you were going to have a bad day, and then you were stepping on eggshells the whole day. I don't do it. Again, it's okay as a navigational tool. I'm not into human design at all. I see people using it as a crutch. I'm not into that anagram thing. I won't take those quizzes. I don't really care who I am in that because they don't identify me. I identify me with God, the infinite intelligence, with my guides. But I will say this, and I'll say it about astrology more. So I'm really not into astrology at all. I believe that I just communicate with with the moon, with Saturn. If I stars in the sky, I just have direct communication with them if I want it. Especially there's a particular star in the sky that we communicate all the time. I communicate with the moon all the time. But with that said, I have a lot of respect for a lot of people that do astrology who understand that astrology is just a navigational tool. And we invited an astrologer on one of my programs to teach. And I told her how I felt about astrology in a very respectful way, because I'm not inviting an expert on to knock them down. I'm not going to do that. I want to celebrate people and their gifts. And she said that, yes, it's true when you, and I talk about this, when you use astrology, it's just a tool. So it's supposed to help you. So if you need those tools, I get it. I teach tools and techniques to my students. The tools are good, but make them your own. So if you read something in astrology, some people get their charts done and they're like, oh my goodness, now it makes sense. That's aligning with your truth. I have no problem with that. No problem. But if you're using it as an excuse to move forward in your life, I have a big issue with it, a big one. When people tell me that they can't do anything for another 2 years because astrology is, that's bullshit. Bull. And if you're waiting for tomorrow to start what you really want to start today, you're just putting your life off. So as you can tell, I'm getting stronger. Maybe you don't know this because you just started listening to me. Maybe I'm pissing you off, then I'm not for you. I'll be honest with you. But I am really for the people who want to change their life, who want to live the best life that they can. I have been studying a lot with different people and really elevating my own existence, my own consciousness, my own mindset. And it's definitely working, because it's not only working for my own life, but it's also dominoing effect in my next level living program. Yesterday, I did a hot seat coaching thing, and I am very direct, but I'm very encouraging. I can see clearly your expansion before you can even see it. I can also see your blocks. So I was helping them out with a couple of the struggles they were having and giving them really direct advice as well, very tangible advice, because I believe in tangible advice. Don't sit on the couch and just meditate. Life is not going to happen that way. And sorry, you have to get up and take action then. And one of the girls wrote, one of the women wrote in Next Level Living, like an hour later, like, oh my goodness, that was so amazing. And she got so clear on her messaging, her branding and messaging. You can't run a business. I don't care how many sales classes you take. I don't care how many marketing classes you take. I don't care how many classes you take about the techniques to do things. You need that stuff. You can't do any of it if you don't believe in yourself. End of story. Just had a conversation with somebody else about this. They studied with this one. They studied with that one. They studied with this one. And I knew some of the names, and I'm like, you studied with really great people. Why are you waiting till next month to do it? Do it today, because you don't believe in yourself. And a lot of times people are waiting to believe in themselves before they do it. I have news for you. You have to do it, and then you'll believe in yourself. Because as you walk through the insecurity, the fear, and the anxiety, that's how you build the belief in yourself. When I did my first sizzle reel for television, and I'm standing on the train tracks, and I'm with this grieving girl, and nothing is coming through, and the cameras are on me. And I'm like, he doesn't want to talk to you. He's really done with this. I'm not sure what's going on here. And the producers who knew the whole story, I didn't know anything because I don't want to know anything. They were encouraging me to go on. And I was like, in my head going, oh, fuck, I suck. What am I going to do? Nothing's coming. I'm like, he doesn't want to talk to me. He's done. He's done with this. And and one of the things he did say to me is he's telling me, you came here and you did something for him, but he doesn't want you doing that stuff. And I could see that one of the producers was a full-on skeptic, but totally sweet. And I don't mind skeptics. And he was like, go, go, keep going. And he could see me like struggling with my insecurity of like, what is going on? All of a sudden, my gift's not working. And at the very end, what I found out was she was going to the train tracks all the time. She couldn't move on with her life at all. And the spirit was done with communicating with her. He wanted her to just move on with her life. And she actually went to the train tracks and tried to kill herself, brought a gun. So you won't know how to get through those moments until you're in those moments, unless you have the mindset to talk to yourself. So what did I do? I just kept moving through it. It helped seeing the producer, who was the biggest skeptic, who also was very sweet, kind of like waving his hands, like, keep going, keep going. And because they knew what was going on, not me. But for me personally, what was going on in my head was like, you just got to do this. You've got to trust. You've given yourself over to this work. You just got to trust it. And I'll never forget sitting on the car, because there was like so many hours in between shots. And I was sitting in the car. I had nobody to call. And I've shared the story before. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was scared, right? Because not only were the producers, the 3 producers that loved me, they tacked on with another producing team who weren't the best. I didn't like them, but they decided to go with them. And it's in those moments where you got to forge forward, or you're going to give up and walk away? No, not if you want greatness in your life. Okay. So you're going to hear some music. You're going to hear this thing. And then next week, because you're going to hear, put in meditation in the comments. You don't have to do that. You're on the podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, put it in the comments and I'll come back and I'll answer it. I'm finally starting getting active on YouTube and answering comments. But what will happen is you'll get it the next week. Also on YouTube, you'll get it the next week, because we're going to give it as an episode as well. All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for everything. And I believe in you. I believe in you. I know your expansion. I know your truth. I know what you're capable of. And the only block is you. It's not the debt. It's not your husband. Somebody else was communicating with me on Facebook, and they're like, my family sucks the life out of me. And I'm like, no, you need boundaries. And so I'm not saying life happens, because life does happen and it gets very difficult, but you still have to navigate that. And that's up to you. All right. Much love to all of you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Lisa, I just saw your comment and she got it. Ding, ding, ding. All right, we're going to talk about vodka. Vodka, cleaning, quizzes, and horoscopes. I tried to do this live before, but I was using a new program, and I sounded like I was in a I don't know, like there were a million people around me trying to talk, which could happen sometimes in my world, right? So I was like, you know what? It's too important of a topic, not the vodka part. It's too important of a topic for me not to do this. So I'm doing this. I'm coming on. I never work this late, but I've been so addicted to my business lately that I have been working a lot. I got the Grant Cardone's gene. And if you don't like Grant Cardone, just spray some vodka and lavender on them and you'll be fine, because I'm going to tell you all about what vodka and lavender do. So I was on before because I've been really, really super busy, and really loving everything I'm doing. But it's been, I don't like to say it's intense. It's very focused, productive work. And yesterday I was on a call, and I'll tell you what the vodka and lavender means in a minute. So I was on a call yesterday. Let's get all cozy. Do you think I have vodka in here? No, I don't drink anymore. I stopped drinking like a year and a half ago. It's been amazing. And then I gave up sugar. I do coconut sugar, but I've given up sugar. Okay. So vodka, Linda Vale. No, you know me, right, Linda? Imagine me doing a live drinking. Okay, let me tell you a story about drinking, being a medium. It's one of my last drunk stories. It was a long time ago. So I was being taken out to a really famous steakhouse, in California, not a famous steakhouse, but an old time steakhouse in California for my birthday, I'm not going to say which one. And I was drinking martinis, because what do you drink at a steakhouse? Martinis, right? So I'm drinking martinis and drunk as a skunk, go up to the bar and with the guy that's with me who took me out. And I'm like talking to the bartender, I'm like, your grandmother's behind you. And she's telling you gotta write a book. And you gotta stop this nonsense of bartending. And apparently, like I told him everything. No, it wasn't Uzos and Franks. So I didn't really, it was one of my last nights of like, and I drank after that. I just decided I wasn't going to drink martinis or get drunk anymore. Those days are gone, gone, gone. Um, and apparently I told him exactly what he needed to hear. And next time my friend went in there, he was like, oh my goodness, that woman, she was like telling me everything and about my grandmother behind me. So vodka and readings that's not what the vodka and lavender is about. But we're going to talk about something even more important. We're going to talk about quizzes and horoscopes and how you allow it to rule your life and how I want you to stop doing that. So as most people know me, I'm not really into astrology at all. And I'm not putting astrology down. We invited astrologers into Membership for Your Soul because people really like astrology and it really works for them. So I'm not against it. It's just when people try to come to me and go, oh, no, you can't do that. Mars is hanging out with Saturn, cheating on Venus, and they just had a kid, Mercury. And if you do that, like I can't. When people come to me with that kind of stuff, I'm like, get out of my face. You want to see me get Brooklyn? I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. So I have a very friend who's a pretty well-known psychic, and she knows. She's like, all right, I know you don't want to hear the astrology, but I'm just letting you know. And I just like glaze over. But here's the problem I have with it, with astrology, human design, anagrams, any of that stuff. I have a problem when people use it as an excuse. I have a problem when people use it to stop themselves from moving forward. That's when I have a problem with it. So I don't really care if it speaks to you, because people sometimes will see astrology and they'll be like, oh my goodness, that totally makes sense. And it resonates with your truth inside of you. But I don't want you to use it in order to dictate or make a choice. So Lisa's on YouTube heading to Facebook. So that's my biggest problem with it. And I'm going to give you some stories. I don't care. Like, I understand that sometimes we're all doing this, searching for the light, right? We're like, we can't see a friggin' thing. We're searching for the light. Somebody puts this quiz in front of us. We do all the questions. You ever do the Ayurvedic one? I found out I was Pitta. I was friggin' pissed off. I was so pissed off that I was Pitta. That is such a Pitta trait. Such a Pitta trait. I'm Pitta Vata, but mostly Pitta. So, you do these quizzes because they're fun and you need to know something and you're struggling. But then when you take it as your Bible and you don't and you put more faith into that than your own heart and soul, I have an issue with it. Don't do that. So I've talked to people and they'll be like, I love when this happens, but I was talking to one guy once and he's like, oh, no, I can't join your program. I'm a number 3 on the anagrams. And I just can't do it. And I'm like, what the F does that mean? Like, could you explain that to me? And he went in, he's like, I buy too many programs. I do. Well, that's the story. Tell me. Don't tell me you're a number fucking 3. Say it. I don't know if you can curse on YouTube. Say to me, I'm buying too many courses right now. And I'm choosing right now to just do the courses I have. And then I will consider purchasing another class. Great. Or human design, they drive me nuts. They drive me nuts because I know there's a lot of people out there that they live by their human design. And you can tell me that you do. That's okay. It really is okay. But when I have friends tell me, like I called one friend and I was like, when I was struggling with my team and everything. And I'm like, da, da, da. And she's like, well, if you're a manifester, blah, 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 then, and I was like, oh, can you imagine my therapist saying to me, today I had a session with my Jungian therapist and we talk about dreams and consciousness. And if she used that, like I couldn't, she doesn't. I won't go to a therapist that's just one trick pony. If you're a one trick pony, I'm done. I'm not a one trick pony when I do work with people. I'm seeing, hearing, sensing, knowing. I'm teaching you how to see, hear, sense, and know so that you could get tapped into your truth and come from your truth. And your truth at the moment might be you're a manifestor, generator, whatever the frig you are. But make it your own then. Don't rely because a piece of paper told you what you are. You know how many people have taken that quiz? Because the way you're doing, like I'm telling people to step into their genius, step into their greatness, step into your unique qualities, right? That's what I tell people. We all have our own unique qualities. We've all had, none of us have read the same books, had the same teachers, had same parents, even if we're the same siblings, didn't have the same boyfriends, the same girlfriends. None of us have the same life experiences. None of us. Even like my brother, I remember talking to my brother and we had a very traumatic event when I was younger. And he was like, and I was like, I'm going to tell this story. And he said, well, don't take my place at the dinner table. And I knew what he meant because his perspective was his perspective. He didn't want me to tell his story. He wanted to tell me to tell it from my side of the dinner table. That is what I teach you to do. And I'm going to read this in a second. But so you want to know your perspective. Who are you? You can't step into your genius if you're defining yourself by labels that were created for the mass consumption. I'm sorry. Maybe you want to take the astrology from here, the anagram from here, the pickety peen dean there from there, and this from there, and the guide from here, and then make it your own, and then come to your truth. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So it's something that I've been wanting to talk about. Thank you, Kat. Something I've been wanting to talk about for a really long time. By the way, these are the best tech people you will ever meet in your life. They do strategy. They have the best company. I'm going to do a testimonial for them, but I'm doing one right now. I am blown away by their support on my team. They're unbelievable. They're amazing. I would have never hired a company because I was like, you need a person, not a company. They're phenomenal. So check her out. Check her company out. Love her. It's better than flowers, Kat. It's a private joke. Okay, love. Anyway, so back to the thing. So it's really important. So if I'm talking to people about stepping in their genius, you can't give me labels. You're going to be evolving. You're going to be morphing. You're going to be shifting. You're going to be changing your mission. Your mission may be to like my mission right now is to support all the pioneers in the world, the pioneers that track to me, the way showers, the people that are out there wanting to affect change. I'm supporting them to believe in themselves, to use their techniques and tools, their own instrument. Oh, I didn't tell you the story how this came about. Their own instrument, and to go out with their instrument, not self-doubt, not toxicity, not being afraid. Self-doubt's going to happen. You're going to be afraid, but when you have your instrument dialed in, you are on. It's unbelievable. So this is how this all came about. Oh, I love you. I just love her. You're a change maker too. So it's two change makers together. So great. And your whole team, Kim, everybody, they're great. So here's the story. I was on a call yesterday in a mastermind, and I'm rebranding. I'm changing my brand. And if you have questions about this, let me know. And I want to know your thoughts because I know I'm going to piss people off, and that's okay. I like ruffling feathers. And so I'm on the call with this woman, and I'm like, I'm rebranding, and I'm very clear, and I'm bringing the normal to the paranormal. I'm bridging the psychic with the business. I can talk to any straight-laced businessman, and I can show you techniques and tools to tap into your intuition in a way that you've never thought you could before. I know it, right? And I'm practical. I'm grounded. I'm not woo-woo. I'm not flying around in unicorns. I like unicorns. I like petting them. I like feeding them a little cornmeal, but I don't like hanging out with them all day and friggin' flying around with them. So I was telling my mastermind group, what I'm doing. And the woman on the call, the only other woman, she's like, oh, I just came upon this person. I got to share her with you. This would be great for you. She does this kind of work and she uses human design and horoscopes. And I was like, if she was standing next to me, I probably would have punched her. Like that's how much I went whoosh. And I was like, get out of my face. And I realized I was a little rude. But I said, look, that's not me. That's not me. I don't teach people that. I teach people how to use their own truth, how to use their own psychic senses that are attached to their 5 physical senses. That's what I do. Your sight is so much more than your sight when you use clairvoyancy. Your truth, your hearing, your speaking, so much more than just your hearing, which is it's hearing, but it lives in this chakra. So much more. And when you use your 5 senses, the way I teach it with a whole other realm, you are like on fire. So I was bitchy. I was like pissed. And afterwards I was like, wow, I kind of like think I need to apologize a bit. And I realized why I was mad. because I teach you that you're the instrument, not those tools. You're the instrument. Learn how to play your instrument and you're going to go far. So I left a message to the whole group and I said, hey, thank you, because I came to my realization as I'm rebranding, and this was why. I haven't heard back. That's okay. So thanks, Carmelie. So I really want you not to depend. Look, I don't even want you depending on me. My people in Next Level Living. So we're teaching. We could talk about the vodka and the lavender in a minute. Let me take a swig of my vodka. It's water. And then anybody has questions, I'll tell you. So my thing, like people in Next Level Living, they are doing phenomenal work. These are the way showers. What is that word? You know, they're the pioneers, right? They're authors, they're vets, scientists, healers, they're mediums. They're doing amazing, amazing work. And I love them so much. They're not needy at all. I teach them stuff. It's not a class where you have to sit down like this and do it my way. I meet you where you're at and you do it, right? I'm not doing a pitch. I'm just sharing this with you because this is my passion now. It's my friggin' passion because I found something that I love. And I'm working at 6:50 at night, which I would never do last year when I was running my other programs. So I'm like so invested in them. I love them and I'm so excited for them. And like one of them I was talking to today, she was struggling through her memoir last year. She just re-upped for another year. And she did it. She did it. Because anytime she got stuck, man, I helped her. And she did it too herself. You can't rely on other people to carry you through the journey. You have to learn the tools and the techniques. I was saying to one of them today who was making a huge decision about doing something huge, really big. And I said, and she was looking at the result. And I said, you can't make this decision based only on the result. Because if that result doesn't happen, you'll be disappointed. You have to make the decision because you really are excited by it. You're in love with it. Because during the journey, it's going to be a difficult journey at times because it's a big thing. You need your passion and your light to carry you through because you're going to get smacked in the face. You're going to hit the ground. She was asking about stamina. How do I keep my stamina up? And I'm like, you know how you keep your stamina up? When you're passionate about something. Because when I get hit with something, I'm so passionate about my business and what I'm doing and where I'm growing that I get up. I get up. There was one point, and I shared the story for my assistant who was new to me. She came into a shit show, this poor thing, and just was figuring stuff out. And she looked at me at one point and she was like, why are you doing this? And it never crossed my mind. And I'm like, because I have to. This is what I'm called to do. And it was a great thing because at first I was like, why is my assistant asking that? She should just be supporting me. But she was seeing all the stuff falling apart. And it was falling apart. And if it wasn't for Kat and Jess now on my team, like they're amazing. I can't do it all on my own. I have them. So what I want to tell you is that stop waiting till tomorrow. Do it today. Do it today. I just went outside and had a panic attack about something. And I'm making a big decision about something. And I came back, I was like, I'm okay. I lean into my guides. They're right there. And I'm like, I'm okay. And I was going to get into meditation, but instead I got a couple of emails from prospective clients who are thinking about joining Next Level Living. And I'm like, I love this stuff and the questions they have, and I want to help them. And I'm so invested in this. And then, so I did those videos and I was like, oh, I'm going to do a Facebook Live now. That's what I want to do. So vodka and lavender, and then I'll get your questions. You have to listen to yourself. Stop hiding from your passion. Stop being afraid to start. You're going to be afraid no matter what. Get the techniques and tools to do it. Build your instrument. This is your instrument. I have known, and I know there's a lot of great astrologers out there, and I do have respect for people who will say to me, because I'll tell them, like I interviewed an astrologer. She came in and did a class for one of my programs. And I said, I don't believe in astrology. I believe in just talking to the planets. I just talk to the moon. I talk to a star outside. I just organically talk to them. I once went to a medium years and years ago, and she said, you don't believe in astrology? And I was like, yeah, I don't. I didn't say anything. And she said, because you were an old time astrologer, you did it from the very beginning in a past life. And I was like, that's a truth. So when you feel a truth like that, you anchor into it and then you live from that truth. And maybe that truth becomes a not a truth after a while because you evolve. You always want to be evolving. But I was talking to this one astrologer. I really liked her. I had a ton of respect for her. That's why I asked her to do a class. I felt very grateful to her. And she said, it's a map to just navigate things. And I said, I get that. Sometimes people need that. Not for me. If it's for you, great. But know it, but don't make it your end all be all of everything. If you find yourself going to something outside yourself to make the strongest decisions in your life, you go outside, you gather information. You might go to a reader, you might go to a healer. I went to my therapist today. You go outside and have somebody reflect back your truth. That's what I went back to therapy for. I said, I can't find my truth in this particular situation. I need you to help me with my truth. And so we're in therapy, right? But I'm very active in it. And you can get that help, but she can't ultimately make the decisions for my life because if I decided she wouldn't do it anyway, if I went by what she said, I might resent her down the line. Instead, she gives me the questions and the coaching. That's what I do with people. Why do you want to do this? Like I was talking to my client today. What is, okay, the result, but let's not talk about the results because that's built in a paradigm that may no longer be true. What is your result? Don't talk about the result. Why do you want to do it now? What excites you about it? And I was tapping into her energy and I'm like, this is a yes for me because it feels exciting. But why? She's like, because I'm excited, but I'm afraid of blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, let's talk about that. So that's what you want to do. Okay, the vodka and lavender. Lisa answered it. My vodka and lavender sits in a spray bottle by my door, and I will spray your ass down before you walk in my house if I feel you're carrying negative stuff in my home. We're teaching about space clearing in Next Level Living this month and next month. And I just did a meditation of energetic space clearing. Matter of fact, if you want that meditation, hit in the comments below that you want the meditation and I'll direct message you. It's a really great meditation about clearing space in your energetic space. Okay. Because right now, even though we're all talking in the physical, this is my woo-woo. I'm on the unicorn now. We're actually in an energetic space working. Okay. One of the things that's happening to me is I'm seeing a lot of dimensions, even more so than ever. So we need to also think about the other dimensions. And as we're cleaning our energetic space, it's attracting that as well and cleaning it out. So yeah, just put it in the DMs if you want the meditation, even if you're watching the replay, and I will DM you the meditation. Hi, Kelly from Michigan. So the vodka and lavender, and if you're just joining, you should watch the beginning because I think is going to really light a fire under your butt in a good way. So space clearing. So I'm very sensitive to space, which is why I always threaten and I'm still going to do the story about Sal Mineo when I went into the restaurant and found the dead ghost, and it ended up being Sal Mineo. But anyway, I've always been sensitive to space. I can read space like that. I know if there's heartache, if there's death. So this realtor took me into this house and I went, ooh, there's a ghost here and it's bad and it's not good and it's back here. And that's why this house isn't selling. It was a suicide. Then they took me to the house next door and the owners were there, kids, all loving and happy. And I'm like, oh, your dad's here. You don't want to sell. You don't want to move. And she was like, yeah, I don't want to move. So I'm very sensitive to the energy because physical space has energy. It holds the energy of the people. So we're getting to the vodka and lavender. So I was taking tarot classes years ago with with the president of the Tarot Association at the time. She was a grouchy friggin' lady who hated me. She did not like me, but she was studying shamanism from a Peruvian shaman or somebody very high up. I'm not even I'll butcher it because I don't have enough knowledge or wisdom in that area to even talk about it. And she was the one who taught me about vodka in a spray bottle with lavender oil. And you fill it up like almost to the top and you put in, and everybody would say, how much lavender? I put in as much as I could smell it. And then you can spray the room. So the way that I teach space clearing, we're doing this like now in Next Level Living. And if anybody's interested in Next Level Living, DM me or put it in down below. And I will, it is going to take me a while to get to all these meditations. So just give me some days and that's it, but I'll get them to you. And if anybody's interested in Next Level Living, let me know and I'll tell you more about it. I'm not a pushy salesperson. I just think that the program is amazing, absolutely incredible. And they're rocking it like crazy, like coming up with healing modalities that are just downloading into them. like unbelievable. One of my clients, she's been studying me for years, and she was I said to her today, I don't want to say her name, but I do say it in the overview. I was like, she like was so second guessing herself. She's like soaring like crazy. I love you, Kat. She's so sweet. The program's phenomenal. Thank you. So anyway, I really do love this program. I'm like so invested in it. So anyway, the vodka and lavender. So this is how I teach space clearing. I'm going to give you a quick little thing, and then my dog is barking for me. Feng Shui, I'm not against Feng Shui at all. It's too many rules for me. If you haven't known by now, I don't like rules except my own rules. I just don't like them. So, but I did study some Feng Shui, and they'll tell you, by birth date, you should be in this corner, and that's where you start. Your toilet should be in that room. I worked in a bookstore once as a medium. This guy just opened this bookstore. It was incredible. It was like I just was readings for like 6 months. There was a Feng Shui guy there who was doing it. I was doing readings. The Feng Shui guy comes in, tells the owner, you got to move the front door. This is bad Feng Shui. And I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me. Like, he's not going to move the front friggin' door. It's like on Abbot Kinney and Santa Monica in Venice. There's no place to put the front door. So, and he was a lawyer, the owner, and he was like, yeah, talk to you later. See you later. So anyway, this is how I teach space clearing. So you could go by those directions. I don't. I stand in the middle of the room, and I know exactly the corner that is speaking to me. Exactly the corner. I go to that corner. I use many different tools, but you could use vodka and lavender as one of them. And I go around the room 3 times saying, I'm clearing all the negative, stale energy and bringing in positive, clean, clear energy. I'm clearing all the negative, stale energy, bringing in positive, clean, clear energy. I don't worry about closet doors open. I will open them at times. I don't worry about doors closed. I don't get into rules. Everything is intuitive for me. That's what I teach in Next Level Living. So I spray around the room 3 times, repeating that as much as I need to. And then the 4th time, you have to trust that it's clear. You have to just know that it's clear. So you can't go, I'm still clearing this space. Is this space clear? You got to be like, this space is clear, man. You spray the room. You go around the 4th time. You're like, this space is clear. It's clean. It's bringing in beautiful people, abundance, love, whatever you want. You could visualize writing it. There's so much I could teach about this. I used to get paid to clear people's spaces, and I would do a whole ritual. So you would do that around there. And the 4th time, then you just know it's clear, and that's it. Okay. So that's a quick little space clearing tip. So thank you. Let me know. Let me look real quick. Let me know your, I got to figure out how to get everybody the meditation. So just give me a couple of days, but we will get it to you. Because it's on Kajabi. Now we just changed everything. We'll put it in Vimeo. That's what we'll do. So just give me a couple of days, because now I wasn't sure, didn't know I was going to do that. And we have a whole new program, but let me figure it out. And I got Kat here, so she'll figure it out with me. So let me know your biggest takeaway. Share this video if you thought it was helpful. Let me know your space clearing techniques. Love to hear them. I have tons. They're so cool. It's so good to do. And I'm just going to listen. And if you have any questions for me right now, here, I love what C said. Love the instruments to magnify your own truth. Beautiful. Dance for your own drummer. Yes. 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 You can't be a pioneer if you're only doing it the way everybody else does it. I see this with business people all the time, and I'll do a whole thing about business people, how they buy programs because they think they're supposed to, or because somebody else had success in it, and then they don't have success in it. And the reason is because it doesn't resonate with them. They're acting out of lack, scarcity, and fear, not out of truth. So it falls to the ground. Yes, blended info to personal truth for me. And yes, it always changes. My instrument wants to make big changes and piss people off with big love. I love your energy. It gets me all fired up. You're welcome. Oh, Carmelie. And you're the best at it, Marilyn. I love everything I've learned from you. I love you, Carmelie. Okay, so so going to do this in the basement. It's got something sticky. Honey, I could tell you I could read it in a minute for you next time I talk to you. And I can tell you what to do. And you can even watch the class, but I can tell you what to do. So little things right now. We're going to do a wrap up real quick. It's always uplifting pleasure to spend time with you. I adore you. Thank you. Made my life so much better. Singing bowl. Love that, Lisa. Singing bowl to clear spaces. Yes. There's many ways to clear spaces, many ways. Love that, Lisa. She's the one who sprays your ass if you come in with negative energy with vodka and lavender. Okay, real quick. Don't depend on, it's okay to take quizzes. It's okay to follow horoscopes if that's what you want. But if you read a horoscope and it says you're going to have a bad day, don't have a bad day. Make a decision as to what kind of day it's going to be. Don't let quizzes or horoscopes dictate your truth. Let it just be a navigational tool. Okay? Learn how to play your own instrument. If you don't learn your own truth of your heart and soul, you're going to struggle and continue to struggle. If you want to know how to do that, contact me, because Next Level Living does that. It's phenomenal. And I love it so much because I'm so just so invested, but the people in there are phenomenal. I know I keep saying that word, but they're amazing. And we're all just raising together. They're my academics. It's a great, beautiful community of people. So don't stop giving your power away. Stop waiting till tomorrow to start what you can do today. Just stop it already. You're going to be afraid no matter what. There's nothing wrong with you. Don't wait to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. Somebody was telling me on the call, I did a genius workshop, and they said that they struggle with perfectionism. I apparently don't, because I send out grammatical errors and everything, but I get that. Don't wait until it's perfect. It's never going to be perfect. And you're never going to learn what needs to be improved unless you put it out there. Okay. And then the last thing, vodka and lavender, I shared in this video how to clear space with vodka and lavender. So definitely go check it out. All right. Thank you, everyone. Share this video if you liked it. Comment, like it, love it. And I'll see you soon. Remember, listen to my podcast too. Who can it be now? All right. And thanks for all the support. And Kat, it was so great seeing you on here. I'll help you with your basement, so don't worry about it. Remember, if you need someone to help you with strategy in your business, tech, they are so good. Funnels, they do so much. Go check out. Matter of fact, Kat, if you can put your website in the comments, that would be really great, so that it's there also. I don't care about too many CTAs. I don't worry about that kind of stuff. I do things at my own speed, my own way of doing things. So if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to share your website down here below, and people can find it in the comments. All right, guys, you can also just check her profile out. Much love to all of you, and I will talk to you soon. And I will get the meditation to you probably next week. So just know I have to, tomorrow's Friday. And so we'll get it to you soon. And if you want to know about Next Level Living, you can even direct message me. Bye.